Hi, I'm Rob Anspach, and again I'm with John Spangler, and if you're paying attention, this is actually part 3 of Web Success Series for Success Secrets TV, and today we're going to talk about backlinks. What are they good for? What are they? What do they do? All the different questions I'm sure that you have been dying to know the answer for. John, you want to start off with backlinks?
Sure. Just as a FYI, in terms of backlinks, I mean, some folks may not even understand what we're talking about backlinks. And backlinks are a way in which Google, which is what we're really trying to strive to get in the rankings on the search engines, being the #1 search engine in the world, Google loves when you have links coming back to you. And the analogy I'll use when I'm talking with my clients is, if someone came to you and said, you know what, Joe Blow is a good carpet cleaner. They'll just use that for an analogy, because with carpet cleaning, if somebody just said, you know what, go use Joe's carpet cleaning, you're not going to be, you might be impressed, but it's not as impressive as if all of a sudden, let's say President Barack Obama said, use this carpet cleaning. Well, that's more, political views aside, but he's more of an authority figure, so
right.
There is a representation behind having a link coming from somebody that's a respected authority,
right,
versus just somebody coming in off the street.
Mm-hmm.
Same idea with having a backlink from a website. If you have a link coming back from Yahoo versus joeblow.com,
mm-hmm,
well, the search engine, specifically Google, will give you more weight from a link coming specifically from Yahoo than they would from joeblows.com.
Right.
So I don't know if that helps give you some clarification.
How do people that have websites go about getting a backlink?
Well, there's a number of ways. You can set up profiles on different websites like Web 2.0. You can do bookmarking. Bookmarking would be websites, like Dig and Mr. Wong and so forth. You can also upload videos to the different video networks such as YouTube, Dailymotion, Vidler, Veo. You can name a bunch of them. And then you can also do RSS feeds. And what that means is that you can take the information that you just provided into your social networking sites such as Facebook, Twitter, High Five, all that kind of stuff. You can also do your own blogs. And then what you'll do is each one of those entities that you've set up, whether it's a social networking site, a bookmarking site, a video networking site, an article marketing site, any one of those, and there's others, mm-hmm, then what you can do is each one of them will have a feed. Mm-hmm. And then you could take those feeds and put it into an RSS aggregator. Now that sounds a whole bunch of technical leads, but really what it boils down to is the RSS is a way of getting your information read. It's an easy way of doing it is like, if you go to, let's say, Yahoo Everyday Sports and you want to look up your favorite team's sports, or if you go to CNN and look what's going on into the daily news and everything, mm-hmm, instead of going to each one of those websites to get your information, you can go into an RSS reader. And if you happen to have Gmail has a built-in RSS reader right inside of it.
Right.
So it's called Google Reader. And what you can do is you can take feeds and you can go into Yahoo Sports or CNN News or whatever entity you want and subscribe to those feeds. Mm-hmm. And then when you go into your Google Reader, instead of having to go out to 14 different websites, eBay, you might have your favorite items you like to look for every day and all that kind of stuff. All of that can be brought to you. And then that way you don't have to go out. It's likened it to, when the newspaper comes to your driveway every day. The newspaper's coming to you. You're not having to go watch TV or do all that. It's coming
right to
you. So the RSS can do that.
Now, it seems like there was a lot of time built into creating backlinks. I mean, you had mentioned e-signs and blogs but people put their stuff on bulletin boards.
Uh-huh.
But they have to remember to put their link.
Well, that's what is the link. That's the backlink. Is
right.
That you need to have your anchor text inside, and an anchor text is when you'll see click here. Mm-hmm. Well, that term click here is an anchor text. And so that anchor text is what will help rank you for different keywords that you want to show up in. So if you are a dry cleaner in San Diego, if you use the term dry cleaner in San Diego and made that word clickable to your SanDiegoDryCleaner.com, well then you're going to get some weight in terms of leverage from a backlinking standpoint from Google. And then what they'll do is they'll start ranking your site for that term, dry cleaners in San Diego, so that hopefully you can show up on the first page of Google and ultimately get into the top 3 spots.
Now, how does one find out how many backlinks they have?
There's a really great program. You can use it for free. It's SEO Spyglass. SEO Spyglass, they have a free and a paid version. The free version is really pretty nice just in and of itself. But what that can do is it can give you not only your own backlinks, but it can give you your competitors' backlinks.
Oh, wow.
And what's really neat about that is you can take a look at the top 10 websites for whatever particular keyword you're trying to rank for, and then reverse engineer. Again, that's that term, but it's nothing more than being able to spy on what your competitors are doing and doing what they're doing. So if you find out that they have, your competitor, like, let's go back to the dry cleaning in San Diego, for instance. If the #1 website is, joesdrycleaning.com, well then you can feed joesdrycleaning.com into this SEO Spyglass and find out where his backlinks are coming from. And then if he's getting backlinks from those websites, why couldn't you? So in effect, he's giving you a blueprint to show how you can get to that #1 spot. There's other items to take into consideration, which we can go over at another time, such as how to set up your website, title tags, meta tags, all that kind of stuff. And we've gone over a little bit, but not together in terms of a full diagram of how to set up that type of solution.
One of the things that I like to do is when I'm following the news, a lot of times they'll have a comment bar on the bottom, and you can fill out your name and email, and then your comment. And I always put my link to my website in those. And I was amazed 2 days ago. I put it in there, and I did a scroll to see where it was coming from, and it was already listed.
Yeah, and a lot of the top, and that's where if you're in an industry such as dry cleaning or carpet cleaning, or you're a janitor, or you're a landscape artist, or you're a plumber, or you're an electrician, each of you usually have areas that you have to go, like a forum or
community bulletin
board targeted to your specific area. Well, by going in and finding forums that are related to your industry, and then going in and signing up and becoming a member, now it depends on the different forums that you have, but you can go in and sign up, and you can put your signature tag, a SIG file is what they'll call it, and in the SIG file you can actually put a backlink. So then whenever you're posting a comment and you're contributing to the community, you're also getting back because you're getting links. Like, there's a great website on the internet called the Warrior Forum. The Warrior Forum, if you ever wanted to learn about search engine optimization and internet marketing and how to do different techniques and strategies, is a wealth of information. But you can, I think it's like $30 or $40 to become a member, something, I don't know exactly, but that's a lifetime membership. But you can go in and set up a blog, and that type of forum gets searched by the Google search bots a couple times a day. I mean, like 5 or 6 times a day. And when I'll go in and post a comment, I'll notice that some of my links that I put on there for my clients gets indexed immediately.
Well, I noticed on my own blog, and I think I have 200 blog entries over the last year, they all created a backlink back to my site. Then I have e-sign submissions and bulletin boards, and I think the last time I checked I had thousands of backlinks. Now, do some outweigh the others?
Absolutely. And here's a trick. You want to know a trick? Now, this right here is something that I had to invest a lot of money, thousands of dollars, just to be able to get an understanding of how to do it. And that is, you can buy expired domains that have high page rank. Now, the Google page rank isn't necessarily as important as it once was, but it still bodes well. And what that means is that you can go in at a place like GoDaddy where they have auctions and buy domains, and then you can go use a tool called checkyourpagerank.net, I believe is it. And what you'll do is you can go in and it'll go in and tell you everything about that domain, how old the domain is, how many backlinks the domain has, what the page rank of the domain is, and then it'll also tell you whether or not that's a fake page rank. See, there are people out there that get pretty smart, and what they can do is they can set up a redirect from a high page rank. And page rank goes from 0, being a brand new website, to a 10, which is like Google.
Right.
So anywhere in between there, the higher your page rank and that link that you have put on that page rank site, the more authority Google will give that link to you and showing you up in the search engines.
Right.
So if you buy an expired domain, let's say I saw a PageRank 9 that was up for auction on GoDaddy, and I believe when I was last looking at it, it was around $40,000 or $50,000 just for that one domain.
Wow.
Now, the reason that someone would invest something like that, I don't know what the ending price was. It may have been over $100,000, but for the right company, that PageRank 9 type of website, which rarely ever comes up, is worth its weight in gold, because you could instantly get a website, whether it's a brand new website or a seasoned website, showing up very quickly in the search engines with that type of link.
Now, you see all these different ads that, I'll put I'll create backlinks for you, or I'll get your link associated with .edu.gov. What's the significance of that?
The .edu and .gov, first off, you can't just get a .edu. You and I can't go and sign up for a .edu. We can get a .com, we can get a .net, .biz, .tv, all that kind of fun stuff. But we cannot get a .edu or .gov.
Okay.
So Google knows that. And so anytime you see links coming back from a .edu or .gov, those hold its weight in gold. A good way of getting .edus is, college kids are looking for spending money,
Right.
beer money, whatever you want to call it, partying. And what you could do is get a couple of those, pay them a couple of dollars, and let them put a link on their own blog, because they have their own blogs as well. And so then you can get your .edu for a couple bucks, and you can advertise in a campus newspaper. You can go in and just contact a couple of these students and see if they would do it for $5-10, and that $5 or $10 is something that they don't have to do anything for, and you would enable yourself to get a .edu link really well.
Right. What is kind of the secret? How do some of these places are able to get you thousands of backlinks at a time? I mean, do they use a program, or is that legitimate?
Some of them, they use what's called a blog farm, where they'll go out and just buy domains, and then they'll just set up those domains, and they'll run it through some software that will allow you to pick up these links. But they're really worthless. Nothing's completely worthless, but it's not as effective as if you had a blog farm. And what a blog farm is if you have a number of blogs set up, and what you want to do is use what's called SEO hosting.
Right.
Now, what SEO hosting is over other hosting is the fact that you're setting up on separate C classes. See, just like if I have a phone number, and I say 717-569-1212.
Right.
Well, 569 is a designation for a specific area here in Lancaster. It's like the East Petersburg area. Or if I said 717-394, that's downtown Lancaster.
Right.
So the same idea with C class is that Google will look where the domain is, and if it sees that all of the domains that you have are on the exact same C class, it doesn't get as much weight. But by using SEO hosting, they have servers set up all over the world. There might be a server in Washington State, there might be another server in Germany, another server in South America, another server in Australia. So in effect, you look like you're all over the world by setting up these websites on these particular servers, but it's all done in a control panel that you can log into from your home and not have to worry whether or not you're in, Shanghai, China, or Tacoma, Washington.
Now, I noticed that, and I don't know if this is true across the board, but Google likes to find relevance in your backlinks. So if you're backlinked to some unethical, unscrupulous website, you're not going to get the weight that if you would be backlinked to, a .edu or something in your very industry.
Well, that's why what you can do in the search engine is just put in forum and then whatever your topic is, and it'll pull back a number of forums that are related to your topic. So if you're doing fitness equipment or gym equipment or something like that, then you can do forum and then gym equipment, forum landscapers, and so it'll pull back some information about the different forums for landscapers or for gym equipment. So that way you can have the relevancy related to you being able to put the backlinks on those forums that are related to whatever site you have.
Right.
So if you have a site about sports equipment or fitness equipment and you're going into forums about that, that's great. But then what you'll want to do is you'll want to sign up for the Web 2.0s.
Right.
And you'll want to have the bookmark that profile. So whenever you leave a comment on the forum, then what I would do is go in and bookmark that with like a Mr. Wong or a Dig or something, or Reddit. And then what I would do is then take that bookmarking feed and put it into an RSS aggregator that would then send it out again. That's what's called a link wheel. A link wheel will take it, and it's just like the spokes of a bicycle, where all of it, you want to eventually have a channel back to your money site, which is your main site that you want the traffic to go to.
So if you're a brand new site and you really don't have content out there, what's someone supposed to do? I mean, they don't want to spend months trying to build up natural backlinks. Do they have to go to these artificial places like you can find them on Fiverr and pay someone to do the unethical way to build up backlinks until they get their own?
Well, there's a lot of things you can do. You could pay someone, like you're saying, to go ahead and resource and find information about whatever topic you want. You can use article directories, but give proper credit to the people that were in there, that wrote the article, but you don't have to give them credit where they're front and center. You can go in there and say something to the effect that this is sponsored by whatever your name is .com, and then go into your information and then give the credit at the bottom to whoever wrote the article. That's another way of writing the content. There's another program that you can use that you can mine for public domain information. A lot of the public domain information is just awesome, because even though it was written maybe 40, 50, 70, 100 years ago, it's still relevant today. What was history then is new information now. So you can actually regurgitate that in a different way. Like Walt Disney, he took a lot of those stories that he had heard and created his own version of it, and you could do the exact same thing. So understanding public domain work, and the GutenbergProject.org, I believe it is, has a ton of great content in there, more than you could ever use to be able to fill whatever content you'd need to be able to move forward and put the information on your blogs, put it on your social networking sites, put it on your article directories, put up, there's actually public domain video. You could actually take video that's openly available to the general public and splice it and use it in your own advertising mediums. It's a great step.
Wow. So basically, they have to create a lot of things, content to be able to generate backlinks to them, and it's basically taking the whole, you're trying to build your relationship with the world and bringing them back to your your nest.
Yeah, you want to be able to create your own identity. You want to be able to have people like who you are. Because at the end of the day, as much as you're doing all of this, if people don't like you, they're not going to buy from you. So if you're going out there with the intention of just spamming the internet to be able to get people to your website, well, it's kind of like knocking at the door, but then when you open it, no one's there.
Oh, I love doing that.
Well, who doesn't? But when you provide information that's kind of your personality, and you can associate with the people that you're actually talking to and really emulate what what they want. Get in their mind. Why would they want to buy this? Why would they want to come visit my website? And if you can really understand who your target market is and provide them that information, I always say, if you have one thing, if you were to open up a taco stand or whatever, what would you want more than anything? Someone said that, and it was a quote in a book. I can't recall exactly what it was, but he said, would you want a neon sign? Would you want a, TV ad? Would you want, what? And he said, no, I want hungry people. You give me hungry people, I have a good opportunity to sell them my tacos.
Right.
That's really what it boils down to. So when you're going out there, how hard is it to give water in the middle of a desert? Not that hard. There'll be people being mad if you don't give it to them.
Right.
So by providing content that's relevant and respected to what they're looking for, you're ultimately going to be the go-to person. Maybe not at that specific moment, but they're going to be able to recommend and remember, oh yeah, you know what, John or Rob or those guys actually knew what they were talking about.
Right.
I see where they're going with that.
Yeah. Think tacos. I don't
know, I'm getting hungry again. We just had lunch, so who doesn't like tacos?
So the whole thing is really trying to build up your web presence using other people's websites to do it.
Yeah, it's called website syndication, where you can actually take some content or information from any other source, give proper credit to where credit's due, but use that in a way that you can enhance your user experience when they come to your own website.
Right.
It works really well. Again, like Craigslist is another resource that you can go and put your information on there and put a backlink from Craigslist, even though they say they don't follow. Because some of these links, by the way, you want to mix up follow and no follow links.
Right.
And what that means is you can actually put a little piece of code in that says to the search engine robots, don't follow this link anywhere. This link doesn't go anywhere. And then other links will actually bleed through and they could actually follow where that link goes. You want to actually mix it up.
I noticed that some of the feeds, if I'm doing a Google search, I might get stuff that comes up in the Twitter feed line. But I rarely get stuff that comes up through Facebook.
Well, because Facebook is on its own entity altogether.
Right.
I mean, Facebook and Google are not the best friends.
No.
They're really not. I mean, they are in every way competing against each other because, the way that Facebook now, people actually use it as its own search engine.
Well, yeah, it's more searchable now than Google is.
Yeah.
But I still think the content that's on there should be able to be searchable, but maybe down the road.
Who knows? We can't guess that, but what I can suggest is that video is a big component.
Right.
That you can go in and anyone can go in and take 5, 10, 15-minute segments of whatever they do. If you're a fire sprinkler inspector and you show how to inspect a fire sprinkler system, people are going to watch that that are in that field. If you are a landscaper and you show how to mulch or how to trim a Christmas tree or whatever, you're going to have people watching it that are in that field that are going to be interested. I know I went on YouTube over the summertime. I had to clean out the backyard with all these trees, and I hadn't used a chainsaw in forever.
Right.
So I went on there and learned how to sharpen the chainsaw blade by watching a YouTube video.
Right.
And then I ended up clicking through and going to their website and getting lost and all that kind of stuff. But my point is, you can go into these different video mediums and find just about any type of information relevant to what your topic is.
And just making these videos, it becomes an educational experience. You learn something. But, just because I'm behind the camera or in front of the camera doesn't mean I'm not going to get anything out of it either. Just sitting here, I'm taking notes and I'm learning just as well as you guys, and it's really helps us all out. If you go out and make a video and it goes viral on Google, that in and of itself makes you the go-to expert in your field because people are like, wow, he must know something, or she's on to something. So it's not that we're going to make $1 million doing this video.
We're not? Dude.
But it's the fact that we're spending the time to try to educate people to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Maybe we should use Robert or John in our marketing or in our internet or in our web creation. You know, it's learning something new every day and applying it to your business and how you're going to work it. So, with that, do you have any last words of wisdom?
It's that law of reciprocity.
Right.
You know, and I think, you know, the Jehovah's Witnesses or some of those religious groups that when you're at an airport, they'll give you a flower. You know, they want to give you the flower because
Krishnas, huh?
Oh, that's it. Whatever. But you know, the reason they want to do that is it's that law of reciprocity, where when somebody gives you something, you immediately feel compelled to give back.
Mm-hmm.
So by us providing information and openly giving it away,
right,
we're saying, hey, you know what? We're giving first so that you understand what we're about and how we can help
That's right.
you out. And the same holds true with any business you're doing.
That's right.
You know, if you can give first before asking, your opportunity of success working with someone is a lot greater.
That's right. Well, with that, hope you found this valuable. And down the road, John and I are actually going to be doing something a little different. We're not going to do these long videos, although it's very nice to do these. But what we're going to do is we're going to break them down, make them smaller. You know, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. They're going to be one question, one answer, quick, to the point, and we're going to have a lot of feedback from the viewers. They're going to say, hey, this is what we want you to talk about today. This is our question. This is our big problem that we're facing. How can you help? So, you know, if you like what you see today, give us your comments. Let us know how we can help, and we'll be glad to do that.
That's a great point, because you know, it's really what you guys have from a question standpoint. Because when I'm working with my offline clients,
mm-hmm,
my brick and mortar, they'll come in and they'll not know some simple things like how to set up a Gmail account.
Right.
And so anything that you guys think of that you would even be potentially embarrassed to ask, because you know, if you don't know unless you ask, and we can help out and guide you maybe in a direction maybe that you hadn't thought of before.
Right. Well, thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You bet. Take care.